Okay. So this is Michael Devillano from Cloud Advisory. We provide LinkedIn funnels for people, which is basically done for you takeover of their LinkedIn and outreach to ideal clients. And I've been talking about what's next after that, which is, in my opinion, is video content, which is how do I sell and talk to people that I'm not one to one with. I've got this other big audience. And today, my buddy Jesse Davis, who is where you're in Thailand,
Thailand. Yeah,
right?
just north of Bangkok.
That's amazing. Jesse is like one of my friends who is an absolute expert on creating successful, number one, I think video content. And number two, like you're an expert in YouTube. And that's evidenced by what's behind you, I think.
Oh yeah, the awards.
So what do you got? You got the golden button? And what's the other
So yeah,
one?
we got the silver play button for 100,000 subscribers, the gold for
Oh,
2 million right now,
1
and
million to
then
2
our
million.
MCN gave us the top award for last year at their Christmas party at the end of the year. So that's just the beginning. I'd like to have some more up there. I think I'm going to add a new silver button the next couple months. So
So,
excited about that.
so for people that are watching this, your primary channel on YouTube is actually a kids channel that your daughter stars in, right?
Yes, that's right. 18 months ago, my daughter and I sat down. There's a few life events that kind of came around. She was an actress, and her work was declining because she was getting older, 8.
Oh my God, you're old.
Not so cute anymore, losing teeth. And so not many commercial jobs. And I thought, this really sucks. This little girl is so talented. It would be so awesome if she could just create her own audience and control the attention and not have to worry about the Hollywood bigwigs telling her if she was valuable or not, because I knew she was valuable. So we said, well, let's create a YouTube channel. She's like, yeah, okay. And we came up with the name Brianna's Secret Club. And we started off, and then it was first in English, and then we thought, you know what, we should do it in Thai too. And then the Thai one just shot off like a rocket. And my wife came on and started producing the episodes. And within 5 months, it was 100,000 subscribers. 18 months in, we hit 2 million.
2 million.
So
I remember talking to you when it was a million, and we were watching that. You had that video where you put the counter up, and it was switching over, and the kids were watching it.
yeah, we were gonna do it for 2 million, but we got busy filming an episode, totally missed it.
Wasn't a million though? Wasn't that in April?
Yeah, yeah, it
And
was
now
like
we're in October, so you've doubled in a very short amount of time.
6 months we've doubled. Yeah.
Damn, that is incredible. And all of this in
So it might
18
be slowing
months.
down a little bit, but we're growing at about a steady 200,000 subscribers per month.
So I mean, that's incredible. And my focus has really been the last like 4 or 5 months since we actually, met. Is I've changed my business to focus in on helping businesses grow, and specifically around LinkedIn because I think it's like a platform I understand, like you understand YouTube. And what I'm trying to get my head wrapped around is a couple of things. One is creating compelling video content. So, like, if you were to like chalk up your phenomenal success, like what are 1 or 2 things or 3 things that you think would be key for anyone that's looking at this and like what they have to kind of replicate in their own approach?
Well, I'm no expert on LinkedIn,
But
but I
video
do.
content.
As far as content goes,
Yeah.
I think one of the key things is research, both in the form of competitor research and also market research. As for topics, want to do whatever they want to do. Maybe you're a peanut butter enthusiast, right? And you just go like, I just want to do videos about peanut butter because that's what I like. And I'm sure that's what my audience is going to like. And then they're like, nobody likes my peanut butter videos. I don't get it. You know?
Okay,
It's
that
like,
makes sense.
so, because they didn't actually do the research about what topics, themes were hot, what people actually wanted to hear about, they didn't get the results that they were looking for. So understanding, who their competitors are, what topics are their competitors using that are resonating with their audience. So doing, a mix of competitor research, trends. There's also things like, the Wall Street Journal and other business publications. If there's a big article run
Hmm.
on, cryptocurrency in the medical field, and that's something that interests you, and you see a lot of buzz around that topic, then that might be something good to talk about. So there's many ways where you can research that stuff, but I think research is really, really key. So that would be first and foremost, is to actually research your topic. That goes for any platform. I think second is understanding the ins and outs of the native platform that you're on. Native content always does better. And I know for Facebook, shorter content, 1 to 2 minute clips that has subtitles, square video, vertical video, that fits the platform better. That grabs attention. Those videos perform better. So maybe a 7 to 10 minute video is what people want to watch because they're in their pajamas. They're ready to consume the content. So I would think for LinkedIn, being in a business space, you'd probably want to be a bit more to the point, kind of figure out what the information that people want to get out of you, what value you could provide, and providing that video or that value for them in a fairly short period of time. So I would say that would be probably point number 2. And point number 3 is content is king. A lot of people are obsessed over quantity. And my wife and I were just talking about this today, that, when we launched, we produced daily 3 full YouTube videos every day.
So you were doing 3, so you kind of cut out there. So you're saying the volume was important in the beginning where you had 3 pieces a day.
Right. We knew we had a good opportunities. Kids were out of school. They consumed the content, and we wanted to push the envelope. We also wanted to test the algorithm to see how it responded to one piece between 1 to 3.
Interesting. Okay.
That was sufficient. And so, after a little while, a month or 2, we knew we couldn't keep that pace up. We slowed back down to 10 pieces of content per week, maybe 2 on the weekends, morning, evening. But it depends on your schedule and your audience, how you want to target. When are they available to watch your content? Now, for a business, during lunch or in the 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you have to kind of play around with what those hot times are.
So that's interesting. So unfortunately, cut out a few times, but I think I got what you said.
Sorry.
So one is, yeah, I know. So this is the challenge of being in 14 hours apart. So
yeah, other side of the world, right?
Dealing with probably Thailand infrastructure is a little different than North America. So
it's not bad, but I think it's making a couple hops. I think I'm on about 50 megabit per second file to Thailand, but going outside sometimes you get some lag.
Bandwidth. Okay, so just to recap the last point, which was you had tested doing 3 pieces of content a day, which I think to anyone watching this is probably freaking out about that number, right? But you had said, hey, we tested it and we looked and saw that there was very little difference in the amount of attention and traffic you would get natively, right?
Right.
So that's you've done your research, you've created content and you've optimized it so you're getting traffic from YouTube in your case, right?
Right.
And you saw very little difference in the traffic between 1 to 3 videos a day. So you scaled it back to 10 pieces a week, right?
Yeah, only 10, right?
Which to some people, so 2 things, one is what the hell do I talk about? But I think, you kind of hit on the head is research, create a framework of telling that story, right? And then, but it does sound like I'm kind of trying to hit on the number 2, right? I'm thinking in my head, I think you got to publish something daily on LinkedIn even. It's a fairly new platform for video, and I think they're trying to reward people for native. So that's interesting to hear how you kind of tested to see. So part of it is produce a bunch of content, see does it matter between 1 to 3. That's a really interesting approach, scientific, right? And then the other thing you mentioned was the time of day that you publish, right?
I mean, really, you're optimizing for 2 things. One is you're optimizing for the platform, and then 2 for people. And you want to try to find a happy balance between those 2 points. Sometimes and sometimes too much content. You're putting out content on cars or something like that, and I'm sure you felt it with email where you start falling behind in the email and that
Right.
little red dot, that number on your email counter starts going up and you just can't keep up
You
with
get
it.
overwhelmed, yeah.
So that feeling also applies, I think, to watching content. Some people like to keep up with every episode, and if that is 3 pieces a week, 3 to 4 for YouTube for adult channels, I think is actually a pretty good number.
Okay.
Where it gets putting out so much content that people can't keep up with it, and there's been this phenomenon of being actually scaling back to 3 or 4 episodes a week and then growing after that because that was what the audience actually wanted. So, it depends. It's possible that, let's say, a business, maybe people are checking, LinkedIn specifically at work, which would be Monday through Friday. So maybe 5 pieces of content, with maybe a bonus piece on the weekends might be a good strategy, a content strategy for LinkedIn. But I don't know. You have to test that stuff out.
Yeah, I almost feel like you need to like sprint at the beginning and put a bunch out to get attention because you use that word like attention, right? And you also,
Right.
I think part of what you're alluding to around audience is like research is audience, right? So understand the audience, get their attention. I find it might be really hard to believe that you could produce like one piece a week and get any volume of attention built, but maybe I'm wrong. And I think to your point, it's got to be tested, right? And then the one plaque on your left side there, you said it's for an MCN, right?
Yeah. So we started our channel with an MCN. Actually,
Can you explain what that is?
Okay, so MCN stands for Multi-Channel Network.
Okay.
They're basically like a record label for YouTubers.
Right.
And there's a couple big ones out there. We were with a pretty big one. They're the number one in Vietnam. And they opened up in Thailand, and they've been okay to us. They've been a good MCN. They haven't been shady like some of the other ones I've heard about.
Okay.
And they definitely helped us grow a bit in our first couple months. They gave us some of our initial traffic that got our channel off the ground. So that's not necessarily the recommendation for every YouTuber to go that route.
So that's obviously an established way to kind of get plugged into a network of channels on YouTube. I don't think that exists on LinkedIn. That's why I was talking to you before. Part of my idea was like
not.
Probably like
I mean,
to leverage your network, but also I'm thinking there's a way to create a network of people that might be interested in your content. So I don't know the answer to that yet, but I'm kind of thinking about it.
And if you're interested in it, what they tend to provide is the initial training. So they take a cut, and it can be up to like 50% or more,
Oh, wow.
or it can be way less. It can be whatever the agreement is, and they take a cut of the YouTube revenue, the ad revenue, and sometimes brand deal revenues or direct sponsorship deals. And in return, they give you some extra stuff. Sometimes they give you extra tools. They give you training. They'll have somebody work with you, to try to help make your content better, and increase your revenue, increase your views, that kind of thing. Where it's a danger is that it's way too easy for them to collect that paycheck and not provide anything in return. And so I've seen quite a few MCNs kind of go that route where people are like, man, they're taking this huge cut, and yeah, maybe they helped me out in the first couple of months, but right now, I'm not seeing a whole lot of effort on their part. So ours hasn't been too bad, but this is a big problem with MCNs.
So extrapolating that experience, I think that's one major difference between, say, a LinkedIn and YouTube, which is monetization, right? Whereas you, as a content producer on YouTube, are trying to generate audience so that you get a cut of the revenues, like for advertising. LinkedIn is probably more about that other thing you talked about, which is attention for ideas, right? And your business, really. That's my guess.
Yeah, business promotion. So, I mean, there's different monetization strategies on YouTube, and some of them fall within what I would think is the same monetization strategy for LinkedIn, which is that if you have a business behind you, like a B2C business, a B2B business, you have attention into the sales of your products, then that kind of becomes your primary revenue stream. For us, I would say our main revenue is still ads, because we run millions and millions and millions of views per month. Kids just watch a ton of content. They don't necessarily buy as much stuff, and they're definitely not interested in courses, but they will consume content. So the ads is a big piece for us. But as things go on and on, we've had a lot of big companies to do sponsorship deals. So we're like booked up completely for this month.
Oh wow, that's amazing. I mean, that's incredible. But so I know you. I don't want to take a lot of your time because I know you're super busy with what's going on there. And so I think I had one question in my mind, and it was really around when you guys are creating content. Do you guys plan it in advance, or how do you how far in advance are you guys creating content, and how are you structuring that?
Well, it gets a little messy. It's not quite as straight and organized, and some of that being is that we might have a sponsorship deal that, for example, so they sent my son a Bumblebee VR helmet that wasn't even out in the market, and they're like, okay, you can't release this until the movie comes out. So we've been sitting on this video for over a month now.
Oh wow!
And we want to release it, but we can't. So we get stuff like that where we filmed it, but it's a timing thing, so we haven't released it. But typically, we'll probably film a week to two ahead for our content, and this applies to LinkedIn as well. So as you probably know, batching is one of the secret weapons to being able to produce daily content. Very rarely does everybody's schedule allow to wake up, film an episode, send it, get it edited, upload it, do the metadata, the tags, and all that, get it to all the different social media channels. I mean, if you only job, you could do that, but then that, Saturday and Sundays are difficult. So really what we do and how we started out getting so much content is that on Monday, my wife and I would brainstorm, we'd come up with ideas, we'd do our research. So by Tuesday, we knew what we were doing. And we would figure out what we needed to get for the week. If we needed to buy a product, we needed to, get some drinks or cups or whatever we needed for the episode. We would get all that ready to go. And but we have to work around the kids' schedules, being in school and everything.
Sure.
But Saturday, everybody knows it. It's get up early. Everybody is working. There's little breaks here and there. It's not solid for everybody, but they are dedicated work days. And now that we're doing bigger pieces of content, we'll probably do about 4 episodes on a Saturday with maybe a couple here and there. We try to take Sundays off, but being able to batch shoot 4 to 6 episodes in a row on one day and then get that to the editor, that's how we were able to keep up with that constant schedule. And everything is pre-scheduled in advance. At least a week ahead, we've got everything for the next week already planned out, scheduled for release.
Awesome. Okay, and I think that's really interesting to hear. So that kind of validates an idea that's in my head, which is, if we provide a framework for people, particularly in a B2B environment, my thought is I can shoot you in half an hour and an hour, and that's probably 10 to 15 pieces of content over time, right? It's if they're short.
Yeah, it can be. If you're really efficient with it, sure. I think our record was, I think we shot 22 pieces of content edited between Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And I think what I'm envisioning, I guess it depends, but I'm thinking if we create a consistent framework where a business can tell their story of why, here's how I came to be in this business, what motivated me to do this special thing I do, and then talk about, the problem they solve, what the solution is to solving that problem, and then things like customer testimonials can be added on later, right?
Yeah, sure.
And then I'm playing with how much humor
you can definitely break it down into. said, like maybe the origin story and
Right.
all that. But I'm sure every business is going to be a little different. There might be a different way they could branch out. You might have a plumber that wants to do plumbing tips every week.
Yep.
How to fix this, how to fix that. That's a pretty good method for anybody that does sort of how-to work, is to actually do the how-tos until people are like, just get this guy to do it. Like.
Right. It's like I can tell this guy knows because I'm seeing it. And I think, let's say, you go to the other end of the spectrum, which are like, let's say, think of consultants or agencies, right?
Right.
You're probably doing some social proof, and then you're probably talking about ideas or approach, right? So it's almost like in dribs and drabs, you're talking about your methodology, how that's impacted people, examples of work, exciting stuff they're working on, change and transformation, right?
Well, most people I've seen put out good content on LinkedIn done the social proof and written articles that demonstrated their expert. I think that's a critical move for most people that are trying to establish themselves as experts. And I think that there's other things too. The heartfelt one-on-one videos, the customer testimonials. They're all great segments. They do different things for the audience, but ultimately they do sort of build yourself up, create attention, and give value to people in different ways. So I would say that's a good strategy.
Listen, Jesse, I don't want to keep you. I really, really appreciate your time and your insight, and I think people will learn a lot from this. Anything you want people to find you through? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
I've got a Thai Kids channel. I love doing business interviews, podcasts, and all this stuff, but I'm like, seriously, don't. We don't want you. No, I'm just kidding. If you want to check it out, it's Brianna's Secret Club. TH. We do have an English family vlog. I don't keep up on that one as much. So we do have something that you can check out in English. It's called Brianna's Family Vlog. So
cool.
If you want to, that's it. That's what we do.
All right, man. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time on this.
Hey, no problem, man. Catch you around.
See you later.